So this is how you know the Premier League season is back. Man United nil, Arsenal won. First game of the season we've lost. Yes, there are positives, but it always hurts to lose against Arsenal. It's never fun. But let me talk about this anyway. Forget everything else. We have seen a couple of things today. Number one, we had around 69 to 70% possession at Old Trafford against Arsenal. Call it what you want. I'm picking at positives from here and there. But I have not seen us do this against any team, let alone a big team. I'm talking about teams like Southampton, teams like Ipswich. I don't even remember having 69-70% possession against them. But we had it against Arsenal today. We had attempts. We had shots on target, yes. But what kind of attempts and shots on target? Were there any that Raya was really scrambling for? No, not really. But we still had those attempts. And the best thing I can say is when it comes to transition, Brian Mbomo, when it comes to Matheus Cunha, and when he came on Ahmad, these three were proper shining stars. Benjamin Sesko, in the limited time, some of you might say he did nothing. What I saw was him facilitating play whenever he got the chance to do so. And I always like a striker who facilitates play. So Sesko, you know what? I will give you decent props. You did your job. But along with this, I also have to say Patrick Dorgu, like throughout preseason, he's been very solid. He has been delivering. When it comes to running down the line, when it comes to delivering crosses, keeping the ball tidy, Patrick Dorgu was on point. Saka didn't have much to do, and that was down Dorgu's side. And you have to say, when they do well, you have to say Dorgu did pretty well today. In fact, I can't really point out many players who did very bad to say so, because I can look at the defense. Lenny Yoro was solid. Matthias de Ligt was solid. Luke Shaw was solid. But now one guy I can really point out, and he did actually end up costing us the game, Bayender. Now, I'm not going to say that if it was Onana, he's going to save it, because we've seen Onana do the exact same things before. But Onana, Bayender, we need a keeper, guys. We need a keeper so badly. Because it's not even about just, latching onto a save or whatever. It's just the confidence that it gives your defense. And when you have a good goalkeeper behind you, your defense gets the confidence that, okay, even if we mess up, there's a keeper behind us to save us, which reduces the risk, because now you're off pressure. Like, some pressure has been taken off of you. But now if you have a keeper like Bayende, like Onana, who's always going to cause problems, your defenders are going to be thinking constantly, I cannot mess up, because if I mess up, I know that my keeper behind me cannot save me. And then the ball goes behind him, and sometimes there's a chance where either Lenny Yoro or Matthias de Ligt might actually get on the ball and climb the defender, but instead, because they're hesitant about what's going on behind, they might actually slip up, lose the ball, and then they're through, and it's Bayender or Onana, and it's a goal more often than not. Today, Calafiori, a simple corner, and they score. One thing we know is that at set pieces, they are annoying, and they will never stop scoring corners, especially when it comes to us. For whatever reason, they will score corners against us. And guess what? Calafiori scored. But can we really point out another chance in this entire game that Arsenal should have 100% scored, which they missed, which they fluffed their lines on? I would say not so much. In fact, if anything, it was us who should have scored a couple more goals. The balance of the game would have said a draw would be fair. Now, am I going to bitch and moan about, we didn't get the one goal, or we should have deserved the goal? You know what? That's game, right? That's football. It happens. Sometimes you're supposed to get a goal, you don't get a goal. Sometimes you're not supposed to get anything and you get a goal. This was one of those games where we should have got a 1-1. Didn't happen. However, I will say this much. Brian Mbomo. I'll say it again. Brian Mbomo. That man's composure, that man's ability to take the ball down and cause trouble, I'm sold. I'm sold on this guy. I've already said, out of Matheus Cunha and out of Brian Mbomo, I think Brian Mbomo is going to be more successful, just because he's more about efficiency. He's more about, I know what I'm doing things calculated. So I'm not taking a risk. I'm not trying to do this or that. I'm not trying to do something flashy. I'm trying to do the next best thing. And that is what Brian Mbomo gives us. Now, Cunha, on the other hand, he's just flair, isn't he? He's not calculated. He's not thinking about, okay, this is my next move, then this is my next move. He's just 100 miles an hour at the same time with technical ability. To be fair, this is exactly what I thought I would get from Mbomo, and this is exactly what I thought I'd get from Cunha. All I'm saying is it's going to take time, obviously. And one thing that was pissing me off throughout the game was when we had the ball in offensive positions, there was nobody in the box. But at the same time, when Arsenal started countering, there was nobody to defend either. So this leaves the question, where are the midfield players? Where are the players who are supposed to be either in the attacking phase or in the defensive phase? Because either side they're missing, because all I see is three centre backs defending, and all I see is nobody in the box, or everybody else is outside the box, whether it's Cunha or Mbomo. And that's fair. Cunha and Mbomo are not going to be your number nines. They're going to be just in behind them. So that's the position they take on by default. But now you have your wing backs. Patrick Dogu, on the other hand, he was doing a good job. But you look at Dallo, he was a net negative on this side. What did Dallo really contribute to? Locking down Martinelli, locking down Madueke. They pretty much locked themselves out of the game. But Ahmad came on, and then suddenly you see a bit of spark. You see a bit of light there. All I'm saying is it's going to take some time, obviously, to adjust to the whole new system, a whole new idea. But I'm not going to just look at the results and say, oh, we lost. So you know what, sack Amorim. I'm going to look at his team selection. I'm going to see what team he picked. And Amorim really flopped, didn't he? Because this Arsenal team, we've seen even the last few times that they came to Old Trafford or we went to the Emirates, it wasn't a case of Arsenal dominating us with possession, dominating us with chances. It was always us doing more of the creation and Arsenal grinding it out, getting the result as they need to. But this means you don't have to go ultra defensive against Arsenal. Yet, you see down the left flank or down Arsenal's left flank, it's always Dallo who starts. Instead, you could have started Ahmad. You could have risked it and given Sesko a chance. Zirkzee didn't even come on, by the way. Zirkzee didn't come on, Mino didn't come on. You brought on Harry Maguire for Luke Shaw. Now people are going to tell me, but it's a centre back for centre back. It's a like for like swap. When we're losing the game in the 80th minute, I don't think anybody wanted to see Harry Maguire play. Yeah, people might say, oh, but he scored against Lyon. In such a game where long balls will not work. Why? Because we have physical players. Because Arsenal's defenders are physical. Because Arsenal's midfield is physical. You can't always rely on physicality. You can't rely on long balls to get you goals. And what is this obsession we always have with long balls, by the way? Bayende, long ball. Yes, Mbomo is very good, surprisingly extremely good at bringing the ball down, just like Rashford used to back in the day. And so is Cunha. But we can't always launch a long ball over to these guys because a team like Arsenal, they're built on physicality and they're built on winning first balls in the air. And what you do is just you give them a first ball in the air for them to win. And then transition happens and then Arsenal can attack. Sure, Arsenal's attack was so poor, which I know they're bad, but I didn't expect them to be this bad. Joker is completely locked out of the game, by the way. Completely. He had next to nothing to do. Saka locked out of the game. Martinelli out of the game. Rice and even Zubimendi. Zubimendi didn't show me anything impressive for the hype that he's getting. Sure, he's going to be a good player in the future. Yeah, I understand that. But as of now, didn't see anything much in this game. All I saw was when it came to set pieces, Arsenal were a threat. Not a constant threat. They were just a threat and they got their goal. You got to hand it to them. They won their game. Fair play. But it's more about now what can we do? We have positives from this game, yes. But the biggest negative, the biggest glaring negative is in the goal scoring and is in the scoreline itself. 0-1. We've lost at home. First game, Old Trafford, we've lost. And to Arsenal, it's not going to be a nice one anyway. But yes, you can see Dogu. You can say Mbomo. You can say Cunha. Positives to take away? Sure. But next up, Fulham, another very, very aggressive team. We'll cover this in the preview coming up this week. But against Fulham, we can't be going, again, physical, long ball. There has to be a different tactic because we know that's exactly what Fulham do. That's what Arsenal do. And you can pretty much bank on it. Man City or Burnley, Chelsea, they'll have pretty much the same things as well. So you have to learn to play different ways. And sometimes rushing the ball with a long ball or with just bypassing the midfield isn't the smartest idea. So what is Amorim going to do next? I'm already fed up. You know, we've lost to Arsenal. It's never good losing to Arsenal. All I can say is we have to look forward. we can't keep looking back. Please sign me a midfielder. Please sign me a goalkeeper, and then we can talk. If we don't sign a midfielder, guys, we are looking at top 11 as the best opportunity. So what do you guys think? Comment down below, and I'll see you all in the next one.